say if I'm going the right way or where I'm supposed to be? I guess I'll fuck it up again. Kinda strange that I'm running in circles when no one is holding my leash. Yeah, I just make the same mistakes, and I don't wanna talk about it. I just wanna be teen again. What's gonna bring you down when all you do is hang out with your friends? I just wanna feel 18 again. Why'd it have to change? Who's to blame when you're all out of chances and nothing is going your way? Let's just see how bad this gets. I'm 30 something now and everybody seems to have their shit together while I'm just passed out drunk and I can't even talk. I just wanna be 18 again. What's gonna weigh you down when all you do is hang out with your friends? I just wanna feel 18 again. Why'd it have to change? Who's to say if I'm going the right way or where I'm supposed to be? I guess I'll fuck it up again. I just wanna be 18 again. What's gonna weigh you down when all you do is hang out with your friends? I just wanna feel 18 again. Why'd it have to change? airborne. Some fall into it as time moves on. Some are defenseless when Cupid strikes. But I've been heartless ever since I opened my eyes. I'm gonna run from love. Yeah, I'm gonna run from love. Ain't nobody gonna get me to slow it down. I'm gonna run from love. Some are weary and some are lost. Some keep their spirits up at any cost. Some pay the price and some only talk. But I've been feeling nothing since the day I could walk. I'm gonna run from love. Yeah, I'm gonna run from love. Ain't nobody gonna get me to slow it down. I'm gonna run from love. Yeah. I'm gonna run. to say I'm in town, I get a notion that we both walk the same ground. Been traveling all over, searching far and away for a sign to lead me straight. We walk together down the streets of our home. It's been forever, a long time that I've been gone. The feelings come easy as we start a new day, and I know what I should say.
Destiny. Well, can you feel the fire as we're moving to the rhythm of love? And every time we're close together, you make me feel so fine. The way you say those magic words and look into my eyes, I get this crazy feeling deep in my soul when
Okay. I'm paying attention. It's that time. Good damn morning, people. How you doing? Happy, well, what's today? It's Tuesday, right? It's the day after Christmas. Boxing Day for some of those places that call it Boxing Day. Is my mic on? Yes, it is. Okay, I had to make sure. But, why is this so soft? Oh, because this got turned down. There we go. You can hear me a little better now, right? Happy Boxing Day. Happy day after Christmas. Merry Christmas, because it's still Christmas until January 6th. If you didn't know that, well, you need to do something to learn more about your Christianity. Anyway, it's the second day of Christmas, and my true love gave to me a microphone and a cup of tea in the today I have from the cave. What's this? Niagara Cave in Harmony, Minnesota. Great little town, and the cool big underground cave system that has tours and stuff. So anyway, so the show today is kind of a lot of random minor stuff because there's not a whole lot to talk about. I got articles and stuff. I could have loaded it up, but I got things to do this afternoon, and so we're gonna just do a normal show, normal hours. I'm actually on time for once, so that's cool. So that's it. That's the intro. Johnny, play the intro, will ya? Thank you. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes, let's get it started. Johnny, please stop that music and put my face on the screen. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on the 26th of December, 2023. It's the day after Christmas. And let me just really quick, before Gunbox steals the thunder, because I know it may or may not happen. Chicago Mike, over the night, sent a little donation of a big patriotic 1776. And Chicago Mike, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Overnight dropped a Merry Christmas, Marty, to you and your family. Well, Merry Christmas to you too, Chicago Mike, and everyone in the crowd today. Greatly appreciate you. Also, thank you, Gunfox61, dropping Hamilton in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. With an article, something about the new Cold War. Yeah, we're kind of there. So, well, I didn't see this article. Okay, we'll get to that. I'll put that in the list. Well, that's definitely something we got to get to because there's some things happening over yonder that causes people to be concerned. Also, thank you, Zed the Snarky, dropping a 556, a big bullet in the tip jar with no message, but hey, I'll take it. Thank you. Welcome for being here. Let's say hi to the people in the chat and get this thing started, though, because, I got a lot to talk about. But first, too, I want to know, I just put as you see, I have a something in the chat, a poll in the YouTube chat. Looks like, looks about, okay. I'm saying this is, I was asking if you're working today, or if you're just taking the day off, or if you would have not worked already, or if you're like, what the hell is work? So apparently it's about even on those numbers with 14 votes. I was just curious. I have the day off at one job, and then, I guess I have the day off at everything because I'm going to actually go see my daughter today. But because they left some stuff here over the Christmas holiday, and so I got to take it back to them. I gave her a ride home because her husband's working and they only have one car right now. And then but then we realized, oh no, they left the teddy bear here. The baby's teddy bear is here, so I got to take the teddy bear home. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Also, thank you again, Gunfox61, dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. Now, Gunfox61, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Change the leaderboard up there. Another Cold War. Wait, you got me. Wait, didn't you already do that one? Cold War heats up, or is this another one? Is this? Oh no! Oh, good gracious. Okay, that might not be a Cold War. It might turn into a hot war real soon. I'm just not liking the news that's happening out here. Anyway, thank you, Gun Fox. We'll get to that article too. So I'm going to end the poll. Don't need that. Let's say hi to everybody and get this thing going. First in the chat over on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Congratulations, sir. Also, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotep from Hotep Nation. But on YouTube, we got a new name up there. First in the chat on YouTube is GDSOB. Gets the bell. Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith, Kara Soldier, Avocados Diablo, Chicago Mike. Welcome back. Nice to see you. I'm hoping you have an extra day off because I know your schedule changed. Good morning also to, I said Kara Soldier, Tyre, Alexander, the gentleman, Lich, is in the house. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning to Zed the Snarky. Thank you also for the donation. Appreciate it. Good morning also, Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man, Gunfox61, already topping the leaderboard, and also the administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server. If you want to find lots more news and stuff, especially in the news section, because Gunfox fills that biatch up. Head over to the Discord. The link will be in the chat every once in a while. Also, good morning, Kay, who joined us, the P-Dog family, over the Christmas Eve holiday. Had some chili and some appetizers and hung out with the fam, and her son joined us too, and that was great. Great having you at our house. Gunfox drops another one. Another Hamilton. Oh my goodness, Gunfox, you're killing me. You're killing me. Another one. Oh, yeah. See more. Okay, that's Ukraine. Okay, well, we got 3 articles from Gunfox this morning, so there you go. If you want to drop, if you got things you want me to put in the list for the day, feel free to drop a Deuce or a Hamilton or I was gonna say a Franklin, but I don't expect anyone to drop a Franklin. Damn. But anyway, thank you. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that using Streamlabs. The Streamlabs link is in the chat somewhere already. Is it in there yet? Is it popped up? Well, it'll pop up eventually. pdognight.live/tips is where you can do that. Or you can do super chats at Rumble Rants. I don't care. Streamlabs works the best for me, but again, I cannot complain no matter how you decide to sponsor the show. Also, speaking of sponsor the show, there's other ways you can sponsor the show, especially just sharing the streams. That's the biggest one. And then also, if hitting the like button helps algorithmically, also there's a Teespring link in the somewhere in there on YouTube where you can go grab a global warming shirt or a Your Life Matter shirts. I'm working on some more merch that I'll start getting more little diligent with that, but start slowly. The global warming shirt's kind of funny though. Global warming, ever since the Ice Age, so you can check that out. All right. I wish you used Telegram instead of Discord. I don't understand. I don't know Discord or Telegram, and so I guess maybe that's why. I am also on Locals. If you want to be a regular sponsor show, you can support me on Locals, or you can just follow me on Locals. The notifications there are much more instantaneous than YouTube's for some people. Now, some people get your YouTube notifications right away, and some don't. I haven't quite figured out how that exactly works, but for some reason, not everyone gets their YouTube notifications immediately, and others do. Maybe just some wait for it. I don't even know, but I just know that people don't get them right away. All right, and then real quickly before I get into the show, let's thank a few people. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, and for retweeting the show. Please share the stream. Wait, why is Elon Musk's post coming up on my feed here? X, what is prime with 1800 digits? I have no idea. He's so weird sometimes. One is not a prime number. A prime number is one that can be divided by 2. What? No, that's not. Okay, someone's dumb. Anyway, there's a 7 in there. Okay, so I don't know why that's there. Thanks for the people sharing the stream, though. I appreciate it. And I haven't checked, what's this message? Oh, and Scribe, give me a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to Scribe Light. Merry Christmas to everybody, by the way. I didn't really take to any social media yesterday to do that, other than, well, I did put, I guess I put a post out on Instagram on my Marty's Big Journey Instagram site. I have 3 Instagrams. One's Marty's Big Journey, Marty Got Jokes, and P-Dog Night. So you can also follow me there. A lot of my YouTube shorts and short form content goes on Instagram and on YouTube, so you can find them in both those places too. So, all right, YouTube hasn't realized I am the kind of person they don't like, so they send me alerts. Oh, well, there you go. That's why AD gets the alerts right away. So yeah, some of you get the YouTube ones right away, some of you don't. I don't even know how that works, and it doesn't make sense. You would think, so here's the thing. You would think if I follow someone on YouTube and I ask to see all the stuff, hit the click it so that you're, whatever, you would think I'd get notifications from everybody. But I follow a lot of people on YouTube and I only get notifications from a select handful of them. Is it because I watch those more often? Maybe. But I still would like to get the alerts to have the opportunity to go watch people that I follow. There's a lot of people I follow. I haven't seen. Now, granted, some of the people I follow haven't produced any content in years. And so that's why I don't get notifications from them. About once every 18 months or so, I go through and see if anyone's posted content on the channels that I follow. And there's a lot that there's some haven't posted any for 5 years. And I haven't bothered to delete the follow yet because you never know. Because once in a while, all of a sudden, poof, someone posts something. And I go, oh, yeah, I haven't seen anything from you for a while. So I watch that content and I go into their feed or their listings. And it's like the first thing they've posted in 3 years. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, something prompted them to do that. I don't know what, but I'm glad they did if I was interested in it. And then some people... And some people, it's funny, they change their perspective on things, and you go, oh, whoa, what is that? And there's some that I've gone, yeah, I'm not gonna follow into this realm. But there's a couple people who completely changed their content who I still follow, even though I think they're idiots now. So it's just hit or miss. Anyway, good morning, TC. Welcome to the show. All right, should we get into it? What's happening in the world? Things trending. I'm not going to necessarily go through these thoroughly, but things. Wait, what the hell happened there? What happened to Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas was on here. Okay, let me fix this. What the hell did I just do? All right, let me go. I'm sorry. Give me one moment here. I'm looking over here going, that ain't right. That ain't right. And also, yes, it is. Okay, so Christmas. So usually on Monday or on the day after a holiday, if Ken Lee, what's up? Are you early yet? Well, you're early enough. This is early for me. You're here before I'm usually here. So even though it says it's supposed to start at 10 o'clock Eastern, I'm not often here at 10 o'clock Eastern. They call it Boxing Day, but I don't see people punching one another. Well, you might. You might. It might happen. So anyway, Christmas is trending number 1, probably because Christmas is yesterday and people still thinking about Christmas and what they did on Christmas, and then there's Christmas this and Christmas that. And but also some things that happened on Christmas were less than pleasing to the eye. For example, there's this scene in New York City. Why is this not fitting on my screen properly? Let's try this. There was this scene in New York City. Someone said, I feel awful for the New York Police Department officers who were assaulted on Christmas Day by radical pro-Palestinian supporters, our officers deserve so much better. Yeah, so the Palestinian protesters who are, pretty much a lot of them are the BLM, not the actual Black Lives Matter protests. The actual Black Lives Matter protesters are just out there protesting something. And then there's like I've always said, there's several types, and some are the people who are out there protesting for a cause, and then there's the types that are out there just to scream and yell and break shit, and then there's some are the ones who are opportunists who want to go and loot and stuff, because the people who break shit, and then the people who just want some free shit go and get some free shit. But there's the actual protesters, there's the people who just want to cause havoc and break shit, and then there's the people who are taking advantage of that particular situation. Well, a lot of the break shit types are joining the Palestinian protests too, because it's time, there's some genuine Palestinian protest people, and then there's people who just want to break shit. And so this scene unfolded in New York City, where they're basically disrupting Christmas things happening. And so this is a scene there. Okay, so a lot of police were getting assaulted. Now, I'm pretty sure that none of these people end up in a Washington, D.C. gulag. Well, it's New York City anyway. But I'm pretty sure that most of these people won't be prosecuted, even though they are attacking police officers, because it's just not the right cause. But there were scenes like this yesterday. Apparently, there was a Christmas tree set on fire over the weekend in front of, it might have been in front of the News Corp headquarters, Fox News headquarters. But anyway, a lot of people posting about Christmas that had nothing to do with violence and just people enjoying the season. And that hashtag, including Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a couple others were trending. So I'm going to have them in the links, but I'm not going to go through them. There's not anything real significant. Let's see. And I'm scrolling just to see how long it takes to get the B&B post under Happy Holidays, as in boobs and butts. But fortunately, at least under Happy Holidays, I'm scrolling and it's taking a long time. Oh, there's one. It's like an naked, but she's just up there standing on a chair twerking. Okay, so there are some, if you want to find those too, because you can't go through any topic on Twitter without having a B&B post. So there you go. There's the boobs and butt post. I'm not putting it on the screen. But I am going to put this boob on the screen, because everyone got a good chuckle out of this dork. This is the governor of Colorado, who has had a Christmas message. I don't know if it's for his constituents or just whoever. And funny that the pause face really is kind of humorous too. Here is the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. Now remember, this is the midst of a illegal immigration crisis, where cities like New York City, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles are all complaining about the immigration crisis, right? And so here is, thank you, Kay, sponsors the show, dropping a 5 spot in, saying, I'm upset Channel 45 removed the Yule log music and it was just the fire. First off, who complains about Christmas music? Did that happen? They complained about Christmas music? Oh, man. Yeah, see, here in the Twin Cities, Channel 45, which is, I don't know if it's a UPN or one of those affiliate networks that are kind of, that are just the obscure networks, right? Over the holidays, they put just a fireplace fire on the screen with Christmas music for like a couple days. And apparently they took the Christmas music off of it this year. Oh, that sucks. That's dumb. But I suppose, if you play that channel and play your own Christmas music, then you can customize it a little bit. But it was always one of those funny things that just one of the channels literally would put a log burning 24 hours a day with Christmas music over the holidays. It was kind of a fun little thing. And apparently they decided to remove the music this year. So that's weird. I don't know who complains about Christmas music because people just like to complain about shit. That's why. Thank you very much, Kate, for sponsoring the show. So here's the governor of Colorado sending a Christmas message, and it is just glorious. Here it is. Ready? Are you ready for this? Please tell me you're ready for this. This is awesome. Wait, did he call what, an immigrant? I don't know. Here it is, Jared Polis. I think, is that his name, Jared Polis, the governor of Colorado? This is the governor of Colorado. He's a governor in the United States of America giving a Christmas message. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad.
Stop. You had to see it because I saw it. Yeah. Oh, Gubernado Jared Polis, governor of Colorado Espanol. Okay, that is. I want to think that's fake, but it's real. And apparently, he got a lot of shit for it. So the New York, it got so much shit for it that the New York Post had to write a story about it. The Governor Jared Polis faces backlash for cringy Feliz Navidad rendition as migrant crisis surges. Hello, Maddie. And Simon Wolfwood. What's up? Colorado Governor Jared Polis is drawing harsh criticism for his Feliz Navidad holiday message as the state struggles for resources while battling a significant immigration crisis. This days after Denver received 16 busloads of migrants. Oh my God, they got 16 busloads? I wonder where those came from. You know, it's funny. They complain about like Texas and other states busing the migrants other places. But you know that the Biden administration is also flying migrants places. So, but in Chicago, remember they said they were gonna impound the buses and stuff. So they started doing that. So the governor of Texas said, "Fine, we'll just fly them there. You're not going to impound a plane." Anyway, Polis, 48, was seen dancing joyfully around as he delivered an a cappella rendition of Puerto Rican singer-songwriter Jose Feliciano's hit, a 1970 song, on Monday. And the lawmaker posted a video on his social media for his social media followers on his official Spanish X account. So he has a Spanish X account for the governor of Colorado. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, is this a spoof account or is that actually him? But it is him. It says right there, Gubernado Jared Polis. So there you go. And as cringe as this is, it doesn't begin to compare with the damage you've done to the state. One extra user comment under the governor's post. So anyway, yeah, that is the official. That's the official Spanish-speaking Colorado governor site, post, enter, Twitter, hex handle, whatever, thingy bobber,
Come on, man. You know the thing.
Yeah. And the screenshots from it. The screenshots from it are just precious. Look at this one. Oh Lord. Okay. So enough of that. Real quick, thank you, Cryptid, sponsors the show with a big 2669. Wait a minute. Did that say new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today? How did that happen? Wait a minute. Cryptic? No. Oh, is that? No, because Gunfox is still up. Is still the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor. Anyway, I can't. What did I got to play it again to see what the. I don't know what the Abby was. Here, let me play it again. Oh yes, our lovely young lady from Down Under. What's her name? She's the track star that dances before she sings. Anyway, Cryptic says, "Merry Christmas. Fuck Poland and his husband." Oh, is he? What? Is Polis gay? They live in luxury while I walk around Denver avoiding shit and needles. He's pandering to run for the Oval Office. He'll pull the Jew card next. Oh, damn. Cryptic. That's a little harsh. I didn't know you lived in Denver. My son lives in Denver. He lives downtown. Anyway, yeah, Denver's kind of. How many busloads did he get? They got 12. How many? 16. 16 busloads. Mike, how many people does a bus hold? Like roughly 50, 60, something like that. So take that times 16. Holy shit, that's a lot of migrants. That's a lot of damn migrants. Anyway, does anyone remember her name? Someone, yeah, I can't remember her name. She's a good director. Hello, Happy Nguyen. How you doing? Nappy Nguyen. How you, Nappy Nguyen? Over on Rubble, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. 200 if you pack them in tight. Damn. AD, that's wrong. That's just wrong to say. All right, other things trending because it's Christmas. Santa's trending. And, wait a minute. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Allah Akbar, Santa can't even be trusted anymore. Wait a minute. This is just wrong. What is Santa doing here? What is Santa doing in this picture? Allah Akbar, Santa. I don't know what's going on here.
Allahu Akbar.
Why is he dressed in a Santa suit? Why is he just coming off work and Santa's? Okay, I don't know why. Okay, that's not why Santa's trending. He's trending because it's Christmas. All sorts of fun going down in Na'ala Igbo this Christmas. Okay, it's something about Santa Claus. I'm trying to find another good. Oh no. Wait a minute. Here's one. Kid tells mall Santa a secret. Seconds later, him and his elves are beating the crap out of a child molester. Wait a minute. Wisconsin mall Santa decided to handle one of the naughty list members early this year when a young girl told him her Christmas wish was for her stepdad to stop molesting her. He and 4 of his elves attacked the guy who was waiting nearby and pummeled him unconscious. An eyewitness recalled Santa didn't say nothing. He just grabbed the back of the guy's skull and headbutted him real hard. The witness continued on to say, then Kringle got on top of him and just started pummeling him. He was laughing and screaming, ho, 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 motherfucker, yeah! Give that man, I mean, granted, it's probably not the best thing to do, but I'm just saying, go ahead, Santa, whoop that dude's ass. That's funny. Now I got to scroll down and see if there's any other interesting stuff under Santa. Oh dear, what is this? What is this? Wait a minute. Hang on, I'm not going to put it on the screen yet.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that one. That's not right. Oh, God damn. Thank God I didn't put this on the screen. You would have seen a whole handful of vagina. Don't want to show that on the screen. Okay, I'm not finding anything other interesting under the Santa tag here. All right. Wait, what is this? Oh, yes, Taylor Swift being a supportive girlfriend. that's what you're hoping for. Taylor Swift being a supportive girlfriend with didn't the Chiefs lose again? They're not. What's up with the Chiefs this year? Anyone pay attention to football? I know it's the last person you want to see is Taylor Swift. All right, let's move on because I'm floundering here. And speaking of Christmas and Christmas messages, holiday messages, I have to read you one from the former president of the United States because part of his message is trending. Part of his Christmas message to the world is trending. Yes, that would be the guy with the funny hair, that Donald John Trump. Let's just slowly scroll and listen to Donald Trump's Christmas message. Here it is. Merry Christmas to all, including Cricket Joe Biden's only hope, deranged Jack Smith, the out-of-control lunatic who just hired outside attorneys fresh from the swamp, unprecedented, to help him with his poorly educated witch hunt against Trump and MAGA, included also are world leaders, both good and bad, but none of which are as evil and sick as the thugs we have inside our country, who, with their open borders, inflation, Afghanistan surrender, new green new scam, high taxes, no energy independence, woke military, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, all electric car lunacy, and so much more, are looking to destroy our once great USA. May they rot in hell. Again, Merry Christmas. So rot in hell is trending because Donald Trump's Christmas message to all these people, and he says, when he says Merry Christmas to all, he includes those people who need to rot in hell. So that's oh my God. And that everyone's retweeting that one. That's hilarious. So he posted that on Truth Social. And of course, everything he posts on Truth Social ends up on Twitter anyway, so he doesn't need to be on Twitter. May they rot in hell. A beautiful, lovely, and timely Christmas message. And of course, trending right behind that, of course, is Jesus. So that is perfect. Jesus trending right after rotten hell. So there you go. Let's see. And then people talking about the presidency, Harvard. Okay, that's something. That's Carol Swain talking about the Lord Jesus Christ. Anyway, so again, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates Christmas. It's still Christmas until January 6th, if you didn't know that. And then January 6th, we finished the 12th day Christmas celebration by storming the Capitol. Okay, there you go. Bethlehem is also trending, and it's in a way it's related to Christmas, but in a way it's not. Now there's a lot of the news out of that region. I have a hard time following because there's discrepancy in the news. Now here, for example, someone says that Israeli forces kidnap journalist Hamad Taktika after breaking into his house in the south of Bethlehem in the West Bank. Are Western journalists going to say anything about what's happening to their peers, or is this craft completely dead in the West? Well, I'm curious because I don't like. Look, it's hard to tell who's a journalist anymore, but they shouldn't be doing that if that's what's happening. Also, Democracy Now! Is there's clearly on the Palestinian side of this features this Reverend Isaac Munter, the pastor of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Bethlehem, delivered a powerful Christmas sermon on the war in Gaza and why the world must stand with Palestinians. The hypocrisy and racism in the Western world is transparent and appalling, he said. Well, this thing really kills me because the one government committed an act of war against another government, and it's a war, and I don't know. I don't know. Is Israel going too far? Maybe. But what's too far when they come in and attack people and commit an act of war? I don't know. And they, when the Palestinians break the ceasefire, and so Israel starts again. But in Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ, Christmas scouts hold a march to protest the Israeli bombing of Gaza. Now this is one of those dumb things that people do, though. Keep saying that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. No. Jesus was not a Palestinian Jew. The region that is called Palestine, or was named Palestine by the Romans to remove any hint of Judaism, which because the area was called Judea, he was not a Palestinian Jew. Okay, there was no such thing as a Palestinian. In fact, Palestinian is a European name for the region, penned by the Romans to give the Philistine heritage. But the Philistines were eradicated 100 years before. There were no Philistines left. Okay, and again, it wasn't a country. It's never been a country until part of it was turned into Israel. So the people just talk out of their ass about the history. The only time that it's actually been a kingdom or a country or whatever, both times was when it was Judea. And then also under King David, it was the kingdom of Israel. But then the Romans drove the Jews out. Look, the idea that the only people being persecuted are the Palestinians, which if the Palestinians would stop bombing the trying to eradicate the Jews, maybe there'd be a little more peace there. Because certainly, if you took all the weapons away from the Palestinians, there'd probably be peace in the region. If you take all the weapons from the Jews in the region, there would be a massacre. So, I get really annoyed by that argument. Oh, Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. Nah, not so much. Hello, Ken Lee. Hello, Big Dro. What's happening? Nice to see you here. So anyway, part of the problem though is Bethlehem has been they ceased all Christmas celebrations this year in the birthplace of Christ, and that's a lot of people talking about that. Interesting. Someone here says the birthplace of Jesus was 80% Christian under Israeli rule until 1995. In 1995, Palestinian Authority took control. Today, under 10% of the population is Christian. Under Palestinian rule, the birthplace of Jesus underwent full Islamization. And some is claiming they bombed Bethlehem. They didn't. Israeli Defense Forces, on behalf of the IDF, we wish those who celebrate in Israel and around the world a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So there's plenty of propagandists going on both sides in this thing. So anyway, moving on. Let's see. And then also I think this is the last Christmas related. Oh yeah, it's the last Christmas related trending topic on Twitter, which is being dominated by either Christmas or football. Boxing Day is trending, and no, it's not Boxing Day as in punch your neighbor in the nose like this picture, wishing a very pugilistic Boxing Day to all who celebrate. Oh, the movie The Exorcist turns 50 today, by the way. An odd choice of a release date, I'd say. Happy Kwanzaa and Boxing Day. So, I got to be careful. I don't want to get boobs and butts on Boxing Day. Hang on. Let me go because I took a chance. Now, she's fully dressed, thank goodness. Boxing Day has always confused me because we don't really celebrate it in the United States. And so, it's a kind of a Canadian English thing. Boxing Day tests have brought bittersweet memories for KL. He made his debut. Okay, I don't even know what that is. So if anyone wants to explain Boxing Day in the chat, knock yourself out. Oh, there's a Boxing Day hunt in Lewes over the UK. Here's the footage of the people going out for their. Apparently, they're doing a fox hunt on Boxing Day over in the UK. They got the dogs going and the horses. I don't know. Do they still actually go and kill a fox on these hunts in England, or there's just a ceremonial kind of thing where they go out and try to trap them or something? I don't know. Apparently, this is a big damn deal. So there you go. All right, enough of that. And there we go. All right, real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. Another deuce on YouTube through Super Chat saying a CNN journalist said Jesus was born in Gaza. Oh, my God. Isn't that special? So anyway, not a whole lot of interesting stuff except for some trans human being is celebrating Boxing Day. Short notice Boxing Day special. Okay, so apparently Viva Fry's going to do a Boxing Day special. And there you go. I don't understand Boxing Day. All right, and then a non-Christmas thing trending is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa, the holiday, the African-American holiday that is not a religious holiday. It's a cultural holiday. in the United States, and a lot of people celebrate it. And don't call it a fake holiday, okay? It's not a fake holiday. It's just a holiday that was made up by a guy who was in prison, and he's not the greatest guy, but he made up this holiday for some unity within the African-American community. And it is not supposed to be a religious holiday. Some people, decry it as, oh, it's a fake holiday because it's, this and that, and they made it up, whatever. No matter. It's kind of a, there are people who celebrate Kwanzaa as kind of a unifying thing among African Americans. I don't celebrate it, but I'm not going to knock people who do, and please don't do that. But people posting things like Happy Kwanzaa, light, happiness, and peace to you and your loved ones in the coming year. The principles of Kwanzaa are pretty good, except they're a little bit socialist communist for me. And so we don't really, I understand the purpose of it, but, and lots of people saying, for example, Linden County, Virginia, to any and all Linden County community members and families who celebrate, we wish you a very happy Kwanzaa. So, anyway, so that's also trending. A lot of people celebrating the first day of Kwanzaa, which is always the day after Christmas, and it's a 7-day holiday. All right, and then one thing trending that's doesn't have anything to do with any holidays. Apparently, the musical version of The Color Purple is being brought to the big screen and is coming out today. So if you're interested, I didn't really, when the movie came out, let's see, when did The Color Purple came out? Sometime in the 80s. I never saw it. And so I don't know a whole lot about the story. It was a very popular movie. I think it might have won Best Picture that year. I think, didn't Spielberg direct the one with Oprah Winfrey in it? But the musical version has come out on film, so a lot of people talking about that today. All right, let's move into some news. Let's start with Gunfox's stuff first, and then we'll get into the main topic, which may or may not surprise you here. I'm just saying, but I'm going to do Gunfox's stories first, just to get them make sure I get them in the show today. So, Gunfox sent me this. First, there's is this a Newsweek article? Is there a way to go to the main story? Let's see. Well, this is from Newsweek. Iran has issued an ominous threat to Israel after the IRGC commander was killed. So Israel killed one of the top commanders of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, who was I don't know if he was in Lebanon or what, but anyway, Iran warned Israel that it will pay the price after allegedly killing a top Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps advisor in Syria. Oh, he was in Syria. Iranian state media reported that IRGC advisor Syed Razi Mousavi was killed in an airstrike near the Syrian capital in Damascus on Monday. The death of Mousavi, who was reportedly the chief coordinator of the Iran-Syria military alliance, was confirmed to Reuters by 3 security sources. Mousavi was reportedly described by Iranian state television as among those accompanying Qasem Soleimani, the deceased leader of the IRGC's Quds force. Soleimani was killed in Iraq by a U.S. drone strike in January 2020. Quote, like a dog, end quote. Donald Trump. The IRGC said in a statement that the usurper and savage Zionist regime will pay for this crime. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi similarly said that Israel would certainly pay the price for Mousavi's death, calling it a sign of the Zionist regime frustration and weakness in the region. Well, I don't know about weakness in the region, but anyway. Raisi said also that Mousavi was martyred while serving as an advisor for the resistance front, defending holy shrines in Syria as well as safeguarding Islamic ideals, according to the state-run Islamic Republic news agency. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad militant group reportedly condemned the killing as a cowardly act while praising Mousavi for supporting the Palestinian cause. While Israeli Defense Forces had not officially confirmed that it was responsible for Mousavi's death, Haaretz reported that Israel is preparing for a potential retaliatory strike from the north. Newsweek reached out for comment to the IDF via email on Monday. So this is one of those developments where I know that Iranian forces have attacked U.S. forces, and U.S. forces are about to go ham on a couple of those. Now there's this case. Is this going to start turning into a hot war for us? That's what I worry about. Let's see. Mousavi was the first Iranian target reportedly to be killed by Israel inside Syria. Two other IRGC advisors in Syria were purportedly killed in an Israeli strike early this month. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. That's an interesting and unfortunate name. Said that the Israeli military launched the strike on Mousavi after he entered a farm thought to be serving as an office for the Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah, according to the Associated Press. Oh, so he entered a compound of Hezbollah, who's been attacking Israel with missiles from the north, who Israel did retaliatory strikes, and he got killed while in the camp of Hezbollah. That's interesting. That took a while to get to that part. The Israeli military has been engaging with Hezbollah in the north since shortly after the current Gaza-focused Israeli-Palestinian conflict began with a surprise attack by militant group Hamas on October 7th. The IDF warned that hostilities may escalate further. Hezbollah, who everybody knows is a proxy of Iran, is dangerously dragging Lebanon into an unnecessary war that could have potential devastating consequences for the state of Lebanon and for the people of Lebanon. IDF spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus said last week. So, there you go. Now, the next article, too, doesn't give me any more hope because this is also gunfire. The Indian Navy is to deploy a guided missile destroyer ship after strike off its coast. The India's Navy will deploy a guided missile destroyer ships to the Arabian Sea after an Israeli-affiliated merchant vessel was struck off the Indian coast over the weekend in an effort to maintain a deterrent presence. It said late on Monday. The Indian Navy was investigating the nature of an attack on the vessel, MV Kempluto, which docked in Mumbai on Monday, and initial reports reported to a drone attack, the statement said. Further forensic and technical analysis will be required to establish the vector of attack, including type and amount of explosive used, the statement added. A spokesman for Iran's foreign ministry on Monday called a U.S. claim that Iran had attacked the ship near India baseless. Well, maybe we'll find out. A spokesman for Iran's foreign ministry on Monday called a U.S. claim that, I just said that. The Pentagon said on Saturday that a drone launch from Iran struck the MV Kempluto in the Indian Ocean. The strike came as the U.S.-led task force is trying to counter similar challenges in the Red Sea. Considering the recent spate of attacks in the Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy has deployed guided missile destroyers. They have three names that I'm not going to try to pronounce. So three of them in various areas to maintain a deterrent presence, the Navy statement said. The Navy said a joint investigation into the attack was being carried out by various agencies after the explosive ordnance team completed its analysis. So now the Indian Navy is going into the area to stop attacks on merchant ships. Now, here's the third part of the triumvirate. But this is what's happening in Ukraine. Ukraine has striked Russian naval landing warship, and Moscow admits damage. So, Ukraine struck a large Russian landing warship in Crimea with cruise missiles in an overnight attack that killed at least one person and could hinder any Russian attempt to seize more Ukrainian territory along the Black Sea coast. Russian Defense Ministry cited by the Interfax news agency, said Ukraine had used air-launched missiles to attack the Crimean port of Fedosia, and that the Novocherkassk large landing ship had been damaged. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, it sounds like that's anything, had briefed President Vladimir Putin in detail about the attack. The Kremlin said Russian annexed Crimea from Ukraine in 2014 in a move Kyiv and the West condemned as an illegal seizure. Well, they didn't do shit about it then. Obama, come on. Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Yuri Inhat said he thought it would be hard for the Novocherkassk, which can carry tanks and armored vehicles, to be used to land troops ashore to re-enter service. So they basically put this ship out of service. So lots of war shit going on. And it makes me nervous. I'm just saying. All right. Let's move on. Main topic of the day. And this was a shocker when I saw it. And I was like, is this real? Did they actually do this? You know what? I don't know. The Washington Post. Now, you know the Washington Post, right? The Washington freaking Post. The Washington freaking Post had an op-ed this weekend saying that Harvard president Claudine Gay should resign over a plagiarism scandal. Oh my goodness, the Washington Post said that? They're trying to get people to fire a black woman? Now, I would read, this is the Breitbart article about the editorial, but instead, we're just going to go to the editorial. So here's where they posted the editorial on Twitter, X, the app formerly known as Twitter, I should say. Opinion by Ruth Marcus. Harvard President Claudine Gay ought to resign. Her track record is unbefitting of a president of the country's premier university. Remaining on the job would send a bad signal to students about the gravity of her conduct. What is going on here? Someone here says, former premier university. How dare you? That's racist. Claudine Gay represents the very best that DEI has to offer. Anyway, so let's just go to the opinion piece, because I'm stunned. I am straight up stunned that they have done this at the Washington Post. And I know there's going to be someone who's truly actually going to accuse them of some racisms, but I don't care. I want to see what they said here, because some of the stuff that she's been caught doing would get any student expelled. Thank you, Cryptic. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Cryptic says, war. Huh. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Politicians' pockets. Heard again. Hey, war. Good God, y'all. He didn't say it exactly like that, but the politicians' pockets was the important phrase in that particular rendition of the song. War. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Politician pockets. Hey, war. Anyway, thank you, Cryptic. All right, Harvard. Good morning, Patio Furniture. What's up? Nice to see you. Harvard. So Harvard's Claudine Gay shall resign. She plagiarized her acknowledgments. That's bad. She plagiarized her acknowledgments. I take no joy in saying this, but Harvard president Claudine Gay ought to resign. Her track record is unbefitting of the president of the country's premier universities. Remaining on the job would send a bad signal to students about the gravity of her conduct. Now, this is Ruth Marcus. I think she's she's on the New York Times editorial board. She's lefty. This was not my original instinct. I thought and continue to believe that Gay's accusers and their allies were motivated more by conservative ideology and their desire to score points against the most elite of institutions than by any commitment to academic rigor. This was, she says it herself. Hello, Andrew Thorsten. Gay. She had to add this. Because, we can't say that you're hypocrites and have double standards. No, it has to have something to do with racism. Here's the next line in this shit show. This was and is accompanied by no small dose of racism.
That's racist!
And the conviction that a black woman couldn't possibly be qualified to lead Harvard. Okay, dickheads. It has nothing to do with her being a black woman. It's the fact that you let her plagiarism slide is why it becomes something about her being a black woman. Because you would not accept that behavior or type of work from anyone who was not a black woman. Particularly if it was a white male.
You're fucking a white male!
In addition, the initial reports of plagiarism seemed small bore. Really? Any plagiarism? Small bore? Really? Gay's missteps did not seem to involve sweeping appropriations of carefully crafted words or thoughtful ideas, but a failure to put mostly boilerplate language inside quotation marks. Oh, really? Moreover, plagiarism in the digital age is there, but for the grace of God event, every writer should worry about the risk of accidental cut and paste. Oh, it could have been an accident. I'd like to think I'd recognize and remove any language I hadn't written, but who can be certain? It is always best to cite or even overcredit the works of others. Charitableness begins at home. And yet, the instances of problematic citation in the work of Gay, a political scientist, have become too many to ignore. Some go well beyond the routine use of the same language. The Washington Free Beacon's Aaron Sibarium reported that, oh my God, they're quoted the Washington Free Beacon? Those conservative nutjob mega extremists? In at least 10 instances, Gay lifted full sentences, even entire paragraphs, with just a word or two tweaked. In her 1997 doctoral dissertation, for example, Gay quoted from a paper by Bradley Palmquist and D. Stephen Voss, then her colleagues in the Harvard Political Science Department, and turnout rates among, about turnout rates among black voters. Quote, "This is one sign that the data contain little aggregation bias," end quote, they wrote. If racial turnout rates change depending upon precinct's racial mix, which is one description of bias, a linear form would be unlikely in a simple scatter plot, quote, resulting only when changes in one's race turnout rate somehow compensated for the changes in others across the graph. Gay's dissertation, which nowhere cites Palmquist and Voss, contains nearly identical language. This is one sign that the data contain little aggregation bias, she wrote. If racial turnout rates had changed depending on a precinct's racial mix, which is one way to think about bias, a linear form would be unlikely a simple scatter plot. A linear form would only result if changes in one's race turnout were compensated by changes in the turnout of the other race across the graph. It's almost the exact same words. That's not sloppiness, that's plagiarism. Harvard's own material underscores this conclusion. Quote, plagiarism is defined by the act of either intentionally or unintentionally submitting work that was written by someone else. End quote. It is its manual for students advises, quote, if you turn in a paper in which you have included material from any source without citing that source, you have plagiarized. Perhaps the most disturbing example is the least academic. Gay's borrowing of words from another scholar, Jennifer L. Hochschild, in her acknowledgments for a 1996 book, Hochschild described a mentor who, quote, showed me the importance of getting the data right and of following where they lead without fear or favor, and drove me much harder than I sometimes wanted to be driven. Gay's dissertation thanked her thesis advisor who, quote, reminded me the importance of getting the data right and following where they lead without fear or favor, and her family drove me harder than I sometimes wanted to be driven. In the acknowledgement, she plagiarized that. Now, can I just say, acknowledgements are the easiest and most fun part of writing a book, the place where you list your sources and allies and all the people who helped you get the manuscript over the finish line. Why not come up with your own thanks? What does it say about a person who chooses to appropriate another's language for this most personal task? Harvard said it launched an inquiry into Gay's conduct after being contacted by the New York Post in October about plagiarism allegations. It said an independent panel of 3 respected political scientists with no ties to Harvard had examined Gay's public works and found instances of, quote, inadequate citations, end quote, that, quote, while regrettable, did not constitute research misconduct, end quote, because there was no evidence of intentional deceptiveness or recklessness. Gee, would that work for a student? Well, I didn't mean to. It said Gay had submitted 4 corrections to 2 articles, and after questions were raised about her damn dissertation, promised to update that document as well to fix, quote, duplicative language without appropriate attribution, end quote, i.e. plagiarism. Most of the scholars involved told the Harvard Crimson that they were untroubled by this conduct. Oh, really now? Here's what Harvard tells its students, quote, taking credit for anyone else's work is stealing, and it is unacceptable in all academic situations, whether you do it intentionally or by accident. Oh, it was an accident. My pen just slipped and it wrote the exact same words as that other person. And, quote, it is not enough to have good intentions and to cite some of the material you use, end quote. And this, quote, when you write papers in college, your work is held to the same standards of citation as the work of your professors. Wait a minute, how about the president of the college? Which raises the question, is the university president's work being held to the same standards? It sure doesn't look that way. Well, I'll be damned. What is going on at the Washington Post? They are attacking a black woman for doing the work and doing the emotional labor of writing these papers and dissertations and shit, and they're just trying to run a black woman down. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's put a question in the chat. Let's do a Q&A. No, not a Q&A. I don't want a Q&A. I want a poll. Let's do a poll. Will Claudine Gay be the president of Harvard? Oh, I gotta spell it right. Harvard. Let's say June 2024. In June 2024, will she still be the president of Harvard 6 months from now? What do you think? I mean, yes, she slipped, and just all of a sudden, just the ink from the, she got the, see what happened? What had happened was I was using this source, and it was in a book, right? And what had happened was the book got wet, and when I was writing my paper, the wind blew, and my paper flipped over on that paper, and somehow it miraculously, the letters didn't turn backwards when they kind of transferred from page to page, and I didn't even notice that had happened there. And then when I got to, when I sent in my dissertation, it was just in there, and I didn't even know it was in there. We'll see. All right. Let's just go through a list of news items I have, and then we'll finish up the show. So let's start with Breitbart. More Christmas news. Pro-Palestinian protesters assail the homes of Biden officials on Christmas Day. What up, Selecta Boy? How you doing?
Yeah, boy.
Pro-Palestinian protesters converged on the homes of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Christmas Day. Austin, we are at your gate. Justice is our only fate. The protesters chanted at the home of the Defense Secretary. Here's them there.
Austin, we are at your gate.
Austin, we are at your gate.
Justice is our only fate.
Justice is our only fate.
Austin, we are at your gate.
Austin, we are at your gate.
Justice is our only fate.
Justice is our only fate.
So they were really struggling to come up with something that rhymed for a chant, and that's what they came up with. Breaking Shut It Down for Palestine. Protesters rally Christmas morning outside the home of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, a key participant in the genocide in Gaza. No Christmas during genocide. End all U.S. aid to Israel. Ceasefire now. I know this was never happened, but if like Austin had come out like with a, one of those 50 caliber machine guns draped over his arms like Rambo with the bullets crossing him, and come out just start firing over the heads, that'd have been hilarious. Anyway, then October 7th. Okay. Nonetheless, and then they were also at Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor's home. Here's their chanting at gotta worry when they start saying things about there's only one solution, though. So anyway, they protested that, okay, let's see. Protesters heard chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, widely understood to be a call for genocide of the Jewish people. Radical pro-Palestinian demonstrations have developed a tactic this holiday season, targeting Christmas tree lightings across the country, as well as other Christian and Jewish symbols and institutions. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators have held countless protests throughout the world, even holding multiple protests on U.S. Capitol grounds, including inside the House office building, where dozens were arrested for illegally protesting. The House censured Representative Rashida Tlaib, a Palestinian American with a long history of anti-Semitic remarks, partly for her suspected role in orchestrating an illegal protest. Anyway, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Spoonie the Rebel. Nice to have you all here. In other news on the Daily Wire, Christmas Eve event supporting blind children was also disrupted by pro-Palestinian demonstrators. Children taken off stage as demonstrators stormed the stage. Annual Australian Christmas event that raises money for families and children who are blind or have low vision was interrupted when pro-Palestinian demonstrators stormed the stage. Carols by Candlelight event, which has been held Christmas Eve in Melbourne since 1938, was being celebrated at the Sydney Meyer Music Bowl. And apparently, here's the footage of that. I don't know, does this make you more likely to support their cause or less likely? I'm just curious. Free Palestine activists disrupt carols by candlelight, an event in Melbourne. Multiculturalism means you can't enjoy Christmas with your family anymore. Deport these people now. So these people talking about the event. Funds raised by Carol for Candlelight Carols by Candlelight support Vision Australia's Life Ready program, which is designed to encourage and support childhood development and the education of children and young people who are blind or have low vision so they can form strong foundations for life, true meaningful participation, and lifelong employment, the Carols by Candlelight website notes. Also, on Saturday, pro-Palestinian demonstrators disrupted Christmas shoppers in San Francisco's Union Square. Well, how did they avoid all the shit on the ground too? In Chicago, some pro-Palestinian demonstrators blocked traffic headed for O'Hare Airport, delaying Christmas travelers from getting to their flights. On Sunday night, Christmas Eve, pro-Palestinian demonstrators disputed a Christmas caroling tradition at Washington Square Park in Manhattan, blaring music and honking horns. One 76-year-old caroler told the New York Post, they disrupted, we sang louder, we weren't going to let them make this their night. Yeah, it was annoying, but Christmas for me is about making the negative into a positive. I heard that honking and that loud music, and I said to myself, this is God's way of telling me I'm not caroling loudly enough. I sang myself hoarse. So they were disrupting a lot of events for the Palestinian protest. Daily Caller, AOC cooked for Jew hate Christmas message, likening Jesus Christ to Gazans. Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez posted a Christmas Eve message Sunday that got her into hot water for comparing Jesus Christ to modern day Gazans. Okay, so this is what AOC wrote. Hello, Man Squatch. What's up? Happy Boxing Day. Did you leave your ear out for Mike Tyson? Yes, I did. I have an ear out for Mike Tyson. Okay, so here's what she wrote on Instagram. In the story of Christmas, Christ was born in modern day Palestine under threat of a government engaged in a massacre of innocents. He was part of a targeted population being indiscriminately killed to protect an unjust leader's power. Mary and Joseph, displaced by violence and forced to flee, became refugees in Egypt with a newborn waiting to one day return home. Thousands of years later, right-wing forces are occupying Bethlehem as similar stories unfold for today's Palestinians. So much so that the Christian community in Bethlehem has canceled this year's Christmas Eve celebrations out of both safety and respect, Ocasio-Cortez wrote on Instagram. She continued, and yet, also today, holy children are still being born in a place of unspeakable violence. For every child born of any identity and from any place is sacred, especially the children of Gaza. Now, the right-wing forces occupying modern-day Bethlehem in the New York Democrats' tale is presumably a reference to Israel. However, the city was handed over by Israel to the Palestinian Authority back in 1995 as part of the Oslo Accords, the Jerusalem Post noted. There is also further irony in that Jesus was born in the Roman client kingdom of Judea, which was named after the Jewish people. It was only after the 2nd century CE that, due to a major Jewish revolt, the Romans renamed the land Palestina, Palestine, after the Philistines in order to sever any Jewish connection to the land, the Jewish Virtual Library explains. Her post was met with widespread derision. AOC describes Israel as a violent right-wing occupying force in her Christmas post. No mention of Hamas terror, the victims of the October 7 attack. Jacob N. Kornblue, the senior reporter for The Forward, tweeted, Hamas inflicted the deadliest... Okay, then they go on the attack then. Yeah, that's just... Holy shit, she's stupid. In an article on front page, what the hell happened there? Oh, and there's other states starting to think about bar Donald Trump from the ballot. And, apparently Biden said this would happen. How did this go here? Let's see. Do they have video of this? So, now that Colorado has gone full Soviet Republic and barred Donald Trump from the 2024 ballot for his supposed leadership of a non-existent insurrection, other Stalinist states have prepared to follow suit. As we sit back and enjoy the spectacle of our republic being destroyed in order to save our democracy, it is illuminating to recall what Biden said about this, all about this a year ago. Old Joe saw it coming, and is he remarkably prescient? Or have been plans? There have been plans afoot for some time now to bar his foremost opponent from the ballot. Nobody in his right mind would credit old Joe with being insightful or perceptive. He's desperately corrupt, acting in the service of malevolent anti-American forces, and so that leaves us the other option. All of this has been carefully planned. Let's see. What did he say specifically? They have the quote here. I don't see it anywhere here. Oh, old Joe seemed to know all about this when he spoke at a press conference on November 9, 2022. He was asked, quote, "So the entire genesis of that G7 conversation was tied to your predecessor who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return or that his political movement, which is still very strong?" And Biden laughed sardonically and interjected, "Oh yeah, but he was offered more than one derision." What? He was offering more than one derision. The question continued. How do you make sure he will not take power in the United States again? Biden replied, quote, "Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, I'm making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again." So here we are, with efforts to ban Trump from the ballot are being presented to the public as, quote, legitimate efforts of our Constitution, end quote, the Reconstruction era 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Okay, then they go to the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, and they make up the fact that, oh, he would led an insurrection, which he did not. Okay. All right, moving on. Daily Caller. And then there's an article in the Daily Caller how Biden treated countries who kick candidates off the ballot. The Biden administration has enacted or threatened sanctions against foreign nations who have kicked opposition candidates off the ballot, leading some lawmakers to question the Colorado Supreme Court ruling this week to remove former President Trump from the state's 2024 election ballot. The U.S. has put sanctions on other countries for doing exactly what the Colorado Supreme Court has done. We will threaten sanctions against countries that had their courts exclude a challenger to protect the incumbent. That's Speaker Mike Johnson saying that. So yeah, they, again, do you expect this administration to be consistent on anything? Come on now. There's an article, we're not going to go through this one, but there is an article in the American Thinker, on Victor David Hanson's tweet, which we will read, but how the 2023 Democrats are the same as the 1861 Democrats. With a little analysis of that, but let's just look at the tweet itself instead of reading an article about it, because this is interesting. Victor David Hanson, a right-wing, right of center guy. So here it is. Ballot banishing and our new left-wing Confederates is the title of this post on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. In the election of 1860, Southern Democrats in 10 states of the soon-to-be formalized Confederacy made it almost impossible for their own voters to cast ballots for Abraham Lincoln for president. In that sense, the left in Colorado would have felt right at home in the antebellum South, erasing the name of a presidential candidate whom they loathed and by whom they were similarly terrified. In eerie fashion, and almost similar to the old ethos of the Confederacy, the Democratic left now believes in state nullification of federal statutes. So, like the would-be secessionist states of 1860-61, over 550 jurisdictions in almost all blue states claim that federal immigration laws no longer apply to them. Thus, they brag that they can breezily be defied Not so easily or willfully are federal gun laws or EPA mandates or federal endangered species lists ignored in red state jurisdictions. The essence of sanctuary cities is an arrogant sense that federal law means nothing to morally superior local and state governments. So they nullify federal immigration laws in the manner of defying tariffs by South Carolina in 1832, or racial integration by the Alabama governor George Wallace in 1963. Wallace tried to block integration by opposing federal implementation of the Supreme Court's ruling against segregation of students by race in public schools and universities, as well as President Kennedy's federalization of the Alabama National Guard. This confederization of leftist values and protocols is uncanny, and I wrote about the phenomenon in a recent New Criterion article called "The Old South Shall Rise Again." The echoes keep popping up periodically and predictably in the news, as we saw with the Colorado erasure of Donald Trump from Colorado's primary and general election ballot. Take also racial fixations and obsessions. It is the current diversity, inclusion, and equity woke movement based on similar racial essentialism? Or, in Confederate terms, are we back to certifying one's particular DNA, now by blood tests, but then by genealogists? Does the South's old 1/16 one drop rule, ask Elizabeth Warren, still determine racial status and privilege? Do our DEI, woke, racially segregated campus dorms, segregated safe spaces, segregated graduations, and segregated events echo Wallace's 1963 inauguration address chants, segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever? Are blue states becoming like one-dimensional king cotton economies of the past? Just as the king cotton economy ran politics of the Old South through this unprecedented wealth, so do our modern leftist magnates are often one industry big tech titans of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google, who more or less, by their PAC and foundation donations, Mark Zuckerberg alone counts for 419 million, warped the work of registrars in many of the key 2020 counties. One mark of Confederates was the strangling of the Southern middle class. A tiny plantationist elite sat atop a vast caste of black slaves and poor hireling white population. Yet in terms of aggregate state income and wealth, by 1860, 5 of the wealthiest 10 states in America were slave states and about to secede, given the unquenchable global appetite of the growing industrial revolution for Southern cotton. Was the desire for and power of cotton then like the iPhones and Google's searches? So, the sheer power, wealth, and influence of the plantationists remind one of cloud and superciliousness of California's Silicon Valley and its $9 trillion in market capitalization. Indeed, it is eerie in debates and declarations how California Governor Gavin Newsom brags about California big tech success and wealth. Often Newsom talks grandly of his Bay Area Silicon Valley sector as if he was Senator James Hammond, a Southern plantation owner and U.S. Senator from South Carolina who boasted defiantly in 1858 that cotton is king. But, like Hammond, Newsom then predictably grows silent about the state's 1/5 of the resident population below the poverty line, 1/3 of all U.S. welfare recipients, the crumbling infrastructure, the dismal schools, the huge multi-billion-dollar state deficits, the shrinking and fleeing middle class, the exploding homelessness, and the retribalization of the state society by race. Just as King Cotton seemed to ensure palatial homes amid an impoverished general population, poor roads, anemic industry and manufacturing, few rails, and bad public schools, so too does blue state wealth reside disproportionately in the hands of a few atop a growing class of poor and vanishing middle class. In the years before the Civil War and the entire antebellum Jim Crow South, Southern states bled populations fleeing to the new territories in the West or to the manufacturing and industrial boomtowns of the North. They were escaping a fossilized society of haves and have-nots, eerily representative of the current ethos of the blue state paradigm. California has the richest zip codes and the greatest number of billionaires and near highest poverty rate. New York is close, but both have the largest number of residents escaping their states, ironically, to a new South that is becoming as dynamic as the old bygone North. So, the recent ballot erasing of Colorado fits this larger picture of blue state emulating the values of antebellum southern states, erasing ballots and defying federal laws, fixating on race and racial privileges, and catering to a one-dimensional medieval economy and caste amid a growing underclass struggling with neglected infrastructure, poor schools, and growing poverty. So what will be the new old Democratic 2024 election mantra? Vote for us, and ballot deletion states' rights, federal nullification, racial essentialism and segregation, and a one-party, one-economy plantationist nation? So there you go. There you go. Jim Crow is postbellum, yes. Yeah, that's fascinating. So that'll be linked to there. By the way, everything from today is linked. If you get tired of me just reading shit, then you can read it yourself and come watch later. All right. Let's just do a few more headlines and I'm going to get out of here. Let's see. Where's that? Here we go. Oh, don't close that. Oh, also on Christmas, Marjorie Taylor Greene was swatted on Christmas. Republican Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's house was swatted on Christmas Day, local police confirmed. Major Rodney Bailey of the Rome Police Department in Georgia confirmed with NBC News that Greene's premises were swatted after a person from Rome, New York, called a suicide hotline falsely claiming to have shot his girlfriend at Greene's address and threatened to commit suicide. And so she tweeted that out. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. Who's thought that this is a great idea to start doing to people? It's like they're just trying to get people killed or something. So anyway, she said, I was just swatted. This is like the 8th time on Christmas with my family here. My local police are the greatest and shouldn't have to deal with this. I appreciate them so much. And my family and I are in joyous spirit celebrating the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. So that was her message to the world on that note. And then, let's see, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she was the victim of another swatting incident in her home in Georgia. You know, it's funny, ABC News or NBC says that she was the victim of a swatting incident when they confirmed that it happened. So that's weird. So anyway, that's how they think of her. I get it. She doesn't make people happy. There's also an article in PJ Media about the January 6 people who are still in jail. Another Christmas in Joe Biden's J6 jail. Dozens of January 6 defendants are spending another Christmas in the gulag. This is where Joe Biden's Justice Department puts away Capitol trespassers as a part of his disgraceful anti-American political purge. It's time to break hundreds of people out of jail the legal way. You can help. Don't put it off. They need you today. This is a solicitation for supporting their legal fund. It tells you how to do it. Apparently, former CEO of Overstock.com, Patrick Byrne, will double the legal defense fund for January 6 defendants if contributions to the Give, Send, Go account get up to above $500,000. He's pledged $1 million if they make their goal today. So if you're interested in helping out the January 6 people, their defense fund, that's in the links today. In the Daily Wire, this is another one. This CNN priest was also been slammed for claiming that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew born in an occupied country. Far-left CNN priests faced backlash on Christmas for claiming that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew who was born in an occupied country as he tried to make comparisons from the time of Christ's birth to modern-day Israel. He said, well, here is it. Did they have him on here? Here's what he says.
What I'm so struck by is that the story of Christmas is about a Palestinian Jew. Now, how often...
He's not oh my God. No, not a Palestinian Jew. In fact, what's funny about this, didn't they come from Egypt? How would he be a Palestinian Jew if he came from Egypt? Didn't they travel from Egypt to Bethlehem? That's funny. Here, let's go.
You find those words put together. A Palestinian Jew born into a time when his country was occupied.
It wasn't even his country even, right? Didn't he come from somewhere else?
They can't find a place for her to even give birth, his mother. They're homeless. They eventually have to flee as refugees into Egypt, no less.
Oh, they fled to
You can't make
Egypt.
up the parallels to our current world situation right now. And so in some way, that is who we believe God becomes.
Okay. How can the press... His remarks faced significant pushback online from commentators who noted what he said was factually false. This is embarrassingly wrong, responded New York Post columnist Carol Markowitz, which I think we read that article. Did we read that article earlier? No, that's not the same article. Extended there. Radio host Eric Erickson responded, how can the press signal itself not really connected to the people? Put on commentary like this: Palestine was not even a creation of the Roman Empire at the time of Jesus' birth. Pushing a political agenda like this using Christ reflects poorly on the network. Hussein Abdul Hussein, research fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, responded, because you know how in Matthew 15:24, Jesus said, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. By Israel, Jesus meant Palestine. Father Beck has to stop watching Al Jazeera and start reading the New Testament. Yeah, he's not even close here. It's kind of dumb. Also in PJ Media, Hitler wasn't available, so the New York Times run an article by a Hamas official. New York Times wants you to weep for the people of Gaza and for what Hamas's massacre of 1,200 Israelis on October 7th, which Gazans cheered in large number, has brought upon them. In service to that goal, on Christmas Eve, the paper of record ran a weepy piece by a prominent Gazan, someone who has witnessed the Israeli incursion firsthand. Did the Times give this plum editorial space to a moderate Gazan known foe of the Hamas regime, one of those innocent Palestinians who have nothing whatsoever to do with Hamas? Oh, not quite. I am Gaza City's mayor. Our lives and culture are in rubble was written by Yahir Sarraj and published in the Times on Sunday. The Times identifies the author in terms of that may make him sound like an airy, inoffensive intellectual. Dr. Sarraj is the mayor of Gaza City and former rector of the University College of Applied Sciences there. He wrote from Gaza City. See, Yahya R. Sarraj, you see, is no terrorist. He's a mild-mannered professor. But what the Times doesn't bother to remind is hapless readers about the fact that Hamas controls Gaza, and no one can hold the position of being mayor in the largest city in the Gaza Strip without either being an active Hamas member or entirely sympathetic with the terror group's outlook and goals. Sarraj even alludes to this matter-of-factly in his piece, writing, quote, one of my major goals after the Hamas administration appointed me mayor in 2019 was to improve the city's seafront and foster the opening of small businesses along the sea to create jobs. Okay, that's funny. Hello, Amazing Disgrace. So basically, they gave the New York Times editorial space to a Hamas-appointed mayor. So there's, whatever, no moderation there. Apparently, in Breitbart, Pete Buttigieg says Americans won't be driving old gas-powered cars in 2050. It's because no one will own a car in 2050 because they're going to control everything. On last Monday's broadcast of the Fox Business Network's Varney and Company, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said that he doubts that Americans in 2050 are still going to be driving that old technology, that combustion technology that we inherited from the 20th century. Who knows? We might be driving water vapor powered cars for all we know. So he might be right. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to be electric vehicles, because I don't think there's ever going to be a point where we're going to have enough power to power all the electric vehicles. So whatever, Pete. Whatever, Mayor Pete. Illegal insurrection. Oh, half of the Buick. Okay, so apparently the company Buick, a lot of their dealers are taking buyouts. And here's why. Because the market for electric vehicles just isn't as robust as the climate cultists and their media minions would have Americans believe. A few weeks ago, car dealerships across the country were begging Biden to use his pen and phone to rescind the mandate to end unrealistic electric vehicle mandates that have sprung up in blue states. In another article, it was noted that Congress budgeted $7.5 billion with a B to build tens of thousands of electric vehicle chargers across the country, and none had yet been built. Since then, one taxpayer-funded electric vehicle one electric vehicle charging station has been built in London, Ohio, and apparently nobody's using it. But there are even more signs that the American public is pushing back against this net zero nonsense. General Motors is relearning an important lesson in capitalism. Smart businesses don't sell things that customers are not buying. So here's the story. General Motors bought out roughly half of Buick dealerships across the country due to their reluctance to sell electric vehicles as the automaker looks to transition to EVs. About half of GM's 2,000 Buick dealers accepted the voluntary buyout. The program remains open, so additional dealers may opt to take the buyout instead of making the EV-related investments that GM required for them to continue selling Buicks, as GM is planning for the brand's vehicles to be 100% electric by 2030. The dealers are saying, no thank you. No thank you. And they're taking the buyouts. And apparently it's happening with other companies too, Ford dealerships and whatnot. And then here is, again, Pete Buttigieg, probably in the same quote, so I'm not going to show that again. New York Post editorial, Biden's energy plan means lights out for Africa. The Biden administration's decision to impose oppressive burdens and restrictions on developing of African countries attempting to advance and lift themselves out of the destitution and dependence is profoundly concerning. Energy poverty is at the heart of Africa's development challenges. No country on earth became prosperous and self-reliant without access to affordable and plentiful energy. Energy security is the prerequisite for industrialization, job creation, advanced healthcare, and effective education systems, and prosperity is only possible with ready access to inexpensive energy. Well, Congress initiated the successful bipartisan Power Africa program in 2015 with the underlying legislation mandating a common-sense all-of-the-above energy strategy with both conventional and renewable sources. Regrettably, the Biden administration has gutted Power Africa with its onerous restrictions. Instead of leveraging leveraging the available tools to pull Africa out of energy poverty, it only allows so-called green energy projects to receive U.S. funding and support. The policy is basically energy colonialism. Now, you know what the problem here is, and I'm not going to read the rest of this, but you get the idea. One of the problems is we go into nations in Africa and South America, whatever, or when we offer assistance and help, we go in there and basically mandate that they have LGBTQ plus training and green energy initiatives. China has been going into African countries and building roads and infrastructure and this and power grids and this and that. We're losing in Africa big time. Even when I went to Nigeria 20 years ago, okay, there's huge Chinese influence in Nigeria. Like there's Chinese people everywhere. And we're like, wow, this is weird because, China and Nigeria, or United States and Nigeria, have been pretty chummy over the years, but all of a sudden, like, there's just Chinese people building shit everywhere. And what do you think these developing countries need more? Someone pushing green energy policy and LGBTQ plus propaganda down their throats? Or do you think they'd rather have roads and electrical grids? Well, this is just another way that the Biden administration sucks. All right, finishing up here. Oh, geez. Outgoing Louisiana governor, John Bel Edwards, has pardoned 56 inmates, including 40 convicted murderers since October, according to Fox News. In recent months, the governor has made effort to reduce the population of the state's overcrowded prisons, with 1,094 people per 100,000 being in some form of incarceration, according to Fox News. Then Edwards told NOLA.com, for as long as I can remember, Louisiana reflexively responded to an increase in crime by putting more people in prison and keeping them there longer. Okay. We've never been made safe as a result of that. And then he says there's no data to suggest that an increase in crime here was because of the reforms. So anyway, now, among Edwards' pardons, however, are inmates who have been convicted of arson, robbery, and drug dealing, according to court documents obtained by Fox 8. The 40 convicted murderers who were pardoned from all over the state were found guilty of both first and second degree murder, the outlet reported. Notably, one of the released convicts, Frederick Kirkpatrick, was convicted in 1982 by a jury in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana, of first-degree murder. Kirkpatrick, along with accomplice, had brutally killed Stephen Joseph Radost in his home after robbing him and then setting his house on fire, according to the outlet. The jury agreed unanimously on the recommended death penalty, citing aggravated circumstances. Edwards was sworn in. Okay, so anyway, he's losing this. He's letting some nasty people out of jail before he's out, because he's done this year. Thank you, Gunfox61, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. Says, Marty, yes, China is building roads, dams, bridges, but using Chinese labor. They are falling apart, and China uses them to debt trap the nations. Well, from a relations standpoint, true. It's not the greatest. Is this infrastructure going to fall apart? Yes, maybe, but what's definitely not going to fall apart, or definitely what's falling apart worse, is our relationship with these countries, and trying to force, they're trying to force LGBTQ and woke ideology down these countries' throats when they don't want that shit. And also the idea that you're going to force green energy on countries that need reliable power grids. So I don't know. I hear your point there, though. China sucks. China's asshole.
China is asshole.
Okay, the last few articles I got: 18 people shot in Chicago during the first 2 days of Christmas weekend. Is that really news? I mean, isn't that every weekend? The weekend's first shooting fatally occurred at 12:44 p.m. on Saturday when a 20-year-old man was shot in the 2400 block. Okay, they're going through murders in Chicago, which is, it is what it is. This one, Kamala Harris rapped, here's how America's favorite VP fared during another rocky year under scrutiny. So they're doing a year-end summary of Kamala Harris's 2023. Vice President Kamala Harris had an active 2023, from heading the White House's anti-Islamophobia task force. What has she done on that, by the way? To announcing an abortion rights tour, to solving the root causes of the immigration crisis, all while taking fire from all sides on the administration's performance. So in other words, she's accomplished nothing in any of those areas. She has recorded the lowest vice presidential favorability rating in NBC News poll history, though, hitting a net negative rating of negative 17%. 49% of Americans said in June they had a negative view of the vice president, while 39% said they had a very negative view. Oh my gosh. That's almost the entire, everyone has a negative view of her. 49% had a negative view, 39% a very negative view of the vice president. Okay, you can read about that. It should be no surprise to you. There's also a article in the American Thinker warning that Michelle Obama might end up being a thing. Keep your eyes open. Upon hearing the notion that Michelle Obama may be the presidential candidate for Democrats in 2024, many Republicans reflexively recite the mantra that she's enjoying her life and is not political. Let's make one thing clear. Michelle Obama is a political animal. And Republicans must quickly begin to prepare for her candidacy. A candidacy that has no basis in reality. But guess what? Democrats don't vote on reality, they vote on emotion. And she is their emotional fucking unicorn. Just saying. Read the article. PJ Media. Oh, this is funny. John Kirby struggling when asked to name Biden foreign policy achievement. Please let's have the video. This is good.
If we don't get to ask him ourselves, we would have last night maybe if he'd stuck around a little while. What would the president say is his foreign policy achievement of the year?
There's a lot that we've achieved.
Name one
in foreign policy, and
name one.
Already made sure that that you know that we're running late, and I don't want to belabor this. So this answer could go on for like 20 minutes, but
it now?
From the Indo-Pacific and the Quad and AUKUS deal to get Australia nuclear-powered submarine capability to what we've done with supporting Ukraine, pushing back. They clawed back more than 50% of the territory that Russia took in the early months of the war. You think obviously they did that through courage and bravery on the field, but they certainly did that with United States support. Look at what Israel's been able to do to put pressure on Hamas in the wake of the worst terrorist attack that they've ever succumbed to. I mean, I could go on and on. There has been, I think if I had to bucket it into one thing, one of the most important things he's done on the foreign policy front is shore up and revitalize our vast network of alliances and partnerships. No other nation in the world has that kind of a network at their disposal the way the United States does. And our leadership on the world stage is stronger because he took the time to invest in those relationships, many relationships that had been let lapse by the previous administration.
What is he talking about? What? What? Kirby, what did you say? Okay. That he could go on and on. Okay, that's terrible. That's terrible. That is terrible. Notre Dame Cathedral is going to reopen in 2024. Apparently, they're getting close to finishing that, and so if anyone happens to be traveling in Europe to France, which I don't know. That's necessarily safe, but try it anyway. Notre Dame will be finished next year. Daily Caller. Oh, here's what they're teaching in the Naval Academy's gender and sexuality class. Interesting. An English course at the U.S. Naval Academy teaches officer candidates left-wing theories about gender and sexuality, along with the elements of critical race theory, according to a syllabi obtained by the Daily Caller News Foundation. The course description for HE 374, Topics in Gender and Sexuality in Literature, begins by tracing the history of gender and sexuality studies from its origin in the women's studies discipline rooted in the second wave feminism of the 1970s and 1980s, according to the syllabus. However, the English major course broadens to include studies for future U.S. Navy officers on LGBTQ studies, race, class, and concept informed by critical race theory, which defines people in terms of oppressor and oppressed, the syllabus shows. Quote, most of the faculty, student, and topics of study in Western women's studies programs were limited to being white, middle-class women. The female instructor, whose name is redacted but who appears to have served as dean of the School of Humanities in Social Sciences during that semester, wrote in the course description. In the 2000s, some women's studies departments renamed themselves Gender and Sexuality Studies in order to better reflect women's studies' growing interest in exploring queer theory, masculinity studies, intersectionality, race, and class. Women's studies programs are feminist at their hearts. Gender and sexuality studies programs are not. In fact, might even reject feminism for its original focus on white middle-class women. Students begin the class by performing land acknowledgement. The syllabus shows the student also set the learning outcomes for the course. The second class period involves study of theories of gender and learning about the genderbread person, and a visual made to show the difference between gender identity, gender expression, anatomical sex, gender, and sexual orientation. On the third class period, students create a diversity statement and learn gender and sexuality vocabulary. So the Zimzers and Zs are in the third class. Another in-class activity scheduled for week 3 is reading Pan-African and Socialist Civil Rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois' Double Consciousness. The primary texts of the course were the reproduction of mothering. Oh, the reproduction of mothering. I thought only, well, never mind. I thought more than mothers could have birth. Psychoanalysis and Sociology of Gender by Nancy Chodorow, and Sexual Textual Politics, Feminist Literary Theory by Toril Moy. Both books are critical of conservative ideas about sex and gender. Yeah, you mean just normal ideas, they should say. In fact, it says here, women's mothering perpetuates itself through social structurally induced psychological mechanisms. It is not an unmediated product of physiology. Women come to mother because they have been mothered by women, Chodorow wrote according to a summary, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Moy's book imagines a world beyond the opposition of feminine, masculine, beyond homosexuality and heterosexuality, a review shows. While you'll be expected to understand both of these books and the theoretical positions they present, you are not expected to agree with them, although you might, and that's okay too, the instructor wrote in the syllabus. Well, at least the instructor gives you that much. Anyway, it's creeping into the Naval Academy. Let's just put it that way. The bullshit is creeping. And there's apparently there's a federal law now that bans people from home distilling, which is a holdover from the Prohibition era. Well, apparently the Hobby Distillers Association, an organization with over 1,300 members represented by the Competitive Enterprise Institute, filed a federal lawsuit this month against the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, TBB, and Department of Justice over the government's ban on at-home distilling. The ban is not just bad policy. The CEI's General Counsel Dan Greenberg told the Daily Caller, it's also inconsistent with a proper view of the limited government restraints of the Constitution. So they basically want to be able to have some home distilling. Basically they want to be able to make some moonshine. You know what I'm saying? Wait, there's someone at the front door. Hang on. Oh, looks like a delivery. Okay, they went to the wrong house though. All right. And finally, we'll finish up with these two and get out of here. They did a poll in California. Most Californians are against radical gender ideology, according to a poll. Now, this is interesting because you think California, this is where this would be glorified, but A recent poll suggests that Californians may not be aligned with the radical gender ideology as their state lawmakers assume. Over the last decade, California has been the forefront of progressive gender policies. In 2019, California passed the Gender Recognition Act that allows residents to change their sex on official documents, including birth certificates. Additionally, the state passed a law accommodating individuals in prisons to be housed according to their self-identified gender rather than their biological sex, even if they were convicted of sexual offenses, which that is certainly a plan for disaster. But in recent days, California has declared itself to be a sanctuary state for transgender children seeking medical interventions. Now, despite these radical policies being implemented by California lawmakers, it may not be true that a majority of state residents are in agreement. According to a recent study conducted by Spry Strategies, a majority of Californians do not agree with gender ideology being pushed by the left. The poll reveals that 62% of Californians believe sex is a binary concept, with male and female being the only two options. Furthermore, 70% of respondents define a woman as a biologically born female. So, is that going to change anything in California? Short answer, no, it's not. Because the lawmakers, unless they have a radical change in their lawmaking body, ain't gonna do a thing. So, and then finally, there you have a thing about Taraj. What the hell's her name? What's Taraj's name? She was complaining about being not paid enough for some movies she made, and although she has a $12 million net worth, so it's kind of, or Taraj Henson. So I'm not even going to go into that. That's it. That's all we're going to do today. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I want to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you're still here, I'm glad you are. I'm here Monday through Friday around 10 o'clock Eastern. That's when I'm supposed to start, and usually I try to get close to that. And if you haven't been here before, thanks for dropping by. If you, for all the regulars, thanks for being here. Thanks to the sponsors today. Gunfox 81, the superstar sponsor of the day. Also Cryptic, NK, and Chicago Mike. Thanks for sponsoring the show today. Appreciate you. If you all think about it, share the stream afterwards. Also, I'm putting the links in the chat and the description during the outro, so hang around for that, and you can get links to all the articles, tweets, and everything else that we did today. So that's it. I need to leave. Thank you. My name is P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.